In the untouched corners of our planet, where the only witnesses are the trees and the wind, a relentless struggle unfolds with the rising of every sun. Here, the air is thick with anticipation, and every shadow could mean danger or opportunity. This is not a war of armies, but a daily contest for survival, where every heartbeat counts and every decision can tip the balance between life and death. The battlegrounds are as varied as the creatures themselves, dense jungles echoing with the calls of howler monkeys, sun-baked savannas where herds move in synchronized vigilance, and the silent blue depths where sharks glide through schools of fish. The participants are not soldiers but creatures honed by millennia of evolution, each driven by hunger, fear, and the unyielding urge to survive. Some hunt with raw power, others with patience and precision, each moment a test of skill, timing, and instinct. Territory is fiercely contested, lines drawn not on maps but in scent, sound, and the scars of past battles. Here, a patch of ground or a hollowed tree can mean the difference between raising young or losing them to rivals. Every escape is a story of split-second decisions, of prey outmaneuvering predator, of the injured clinging to life, of the exhausted finding a moment's peace before the next threat emerges. These conflicts are not born of cruelty, but of necessity, each animal acting out of need, not malice, in a world where resources are always scarce. The drama is unfiltered and immediate, nature's raw edge, where a single misstep can mean the end, and a moment of brilliance can secure another day. The wild is a stage for breathtaking confrontations, each one a testament to the courage, cunning, and sometimes desperation of its participants. Every creature is armed with its own arsenal, razor-sharp claws, venomous fangs, impenetrable armor, or the ability to vanish in plain sight. Some wield brute strength, toppling rivals in displays of dominance that echo through the land and water. Others are built for speed, blurs of motion that leave only dust or ripples in their wake, where a fraction of a second decides fate. Camouflage is the silent weapon, an art perfected by those who must hide to survive or strike unseen from the shadows. Some wield toxins or venoms, others rely on teamwork, packs, swarms and pods moving as one, their unity a force multiplier in the chaos of the wild. These are not mindless brawls, but calculated contests, rituals of intimidation, feints, and displays, where the outcome is often decided before the first blow is struck. In every encounter, resilience is tested, by wounds, by hunger, by the elements themselves. Survival is not just about strength, but about endurance and adaptability. Nowhere is the will to survive more fierce than in a mother's defense of her young, acts of courage and sacrifice that defy the odds and inspire awe. Predators employ patience and guile, stalking with silent precision, testing the vigilance and wit of their quarry in a deadly game of cat and mouse. Each confrontation is a gamble with the highest stakes, where the cost of failure is final, and the victor's reward is another day of life. Hierarchies emerge from these struggles, leaders rise, followers find their place, and the social fabric of the wild is woven anew with every contest. These moments, often brutal and always intense, reveal the true nature of the animal kingdom, where every scar tells a story and every victory is hard-won. In these epic showdowns, we glimpse the heart of the wild, a world of ceaseless motion, cunning, and courage. Our journey will span continents and climates, from the golden grasslands of Africa to the frozen silence of the Arctic, from tangled rainforests to the kaleidoscopic reefs teeming with life. We will uncover the stories of apex predators and elusive prey, of creatures great and small, each with its own strategy, its own struggle, its own place in the tapestry of life. Through these vivid tales of conflict and perseverance, we will gain a deeper understanding of the ingenuity, sacrifice, and indomitable will that define existence in the wild. Prepare to witness nature at its most primal, its most intricate, and its most unforgiving. a world where every day is a battle and every life is a story of survival against the odds. As dawn breaks over the endless Serengeti, golden light spills across a sea of waving grass. Herds of wildebeest and zebra graze in the distance, but in a quieter corner, a far more intimate and perilous drama is about to unfold. Concealed by the swaying grass, a lone lioness moves with calculated precision. Her tawny coat blends seamlessly with the landscape, every muscle tensed, her amber eyes locked on a vulnerable target. A 3-month-old Cape buffalo calf, still unsteady on its legs. The calf is not alone. Towering above it, the mother buffalo stands as an unyielding guardian. Her body is a fortress of muscle, her hide scarred from past battles. Each horn, thick and curved, is a weapon forged by years of survival. She positions herself between her calf and the threat, her nostrils flaring as she scents the air for danger. The lioness knows the risks. A direct assault would be suicide. She studies the mother's movements, searching for a moment of distraction, a gap in the formidable defense. Using the undulating grass as cover, the lioness flattens her body, moving inch by inch. She is a master of patience, her breathing slow and controlled, every step calculated to avoid the slightest sound. She waits for the wind to shift, masking her scent from the buffalo's keen nose. The mother buffalo is acutely aware of her surroundings. Her ears swivel independently, picking up the faintest rustle. She nudges her calf closer, her tail flicking in agitation. The calf, sensing its mother's tension, stays pressed to her side, its wide eyes scanning the grass. A silent standoff ensues. The lioness and the buffalo lock eyes, each reading the other's intent. The air is thick with anticipation, every creature nearby sensing the tension. The lioness's tail twitches, betraying her excitement and frustration. Then, as if summoned by an unspoken signal, 2 more lionesses materialize from the grass. They move with synchronized grace, their bodies low and their eyes fixed on the buffalo pair. These are not mere accomplices, they are sisters, bound by blood and a lifetime of hunting together. The trio forms a hunting phalanx, each lioness taking a strategic position. One circles wide to the left, another to the right, while the original stalker remains at the center. Their silent communication is flawless, honed by countless hunts. The pride's strategy is both elegant and ruthless. They use the terrain to their advantage, moving with the wind, exploiting every dip and rise in the land. Their approach is slow, deliberate, designed to sow confusion and fear. 2 lionesses fan out, flanking the mother buffalo from opposite sides. The third remains hidden, poised for the final strike. The buffalo is now surrounded, her options dwindling with every passing second. The mother senses the trap. She swings her massive head, bellowing a warning, her hooves churning the earth. She charges at one lioness, then wheels to face the other, her movements powerful but increasingly desperate. The lionesses feint and retreat, testing her defenses, forcing her to divide her attention. In that crucial moment, the original lioness seizes her chance. She bursts from her cover, a blur of speed and muscle, closing the distance to the calf in seconds. Her claws dig into the earth, her focus absolute. The mother's anguished bellows ring out, echoing across the plains. She lunges toward her calf, but the coordinated assault has left her outmaneuvered and isolated. The grass, once her ally, now conceals her enemies. The third lioness clamps her jaws around the calf, pinning it to the ground. The calf struggles, but the predator's grip is unyielding, her technique perfected by years of practice. Driven by pure instinct, the mother buffalo charges the attackers, her horns lowered, but the other 2 lionesses intercept her. They leap onto her back and flanks, their claws digging deep, their weight dragging her down. Even her immense strength cannot break the coordinated assault. The battle is over in moments. The pride's teamwork and strategy have triumphed over brute strength. The lions gather around their hard-won prize, their sides heaving from exertion, their eyes still wary for scavengers. As the sun climbs higher, the savannah returns to its quiet rhythm. The lions rest in the shade, their bellies full, while a lone buffalo stands in the distance, a silent witness to the harsh realities of survival. In this unforgiving land, it is not always the strongest who prevail, but those who master the art of strategy and cooperation. Far below the shimmering surface, where sunlight fades into a world of perpetual twilight, the ocean conceals countless secrets. Here, in the hushed blue depths, a silent drama is about to unfold, one that will test the limits of instinct, adaptation, and raw survival. Within the glass confines of a sprawling aquarium, the stage is set for an extraordinary confrontation. The environment is meticulously crafted to mimic the rugged sea floor, with jagged rocks and shadowy crevices providing both sanctuary and ambush points. The contenders: a spiny dogfish shark, 3 feet of streamlined muscle and predatory precision, and a giant Pacific octopus, a master of deception and manipulation, its arms stretching wide in anticipation. The shark is a marvel of evolution, its body built for relentless pursuit, its senses honed to detect the faintest electrical signals of prey. With eyes adapted to low light and a lateral line sensitive to the slightest vibration, it glides through the water, jaws ready to snap forward in a split second, creating a vacuum to draw in unsuspecting victims. Every movement exudes confidence. The shark's venomous dorsal spines and razor-sharp teeth seem to guarantee its dominance in this domain. Yet, lurking in the shadows, the octopus is a living enigma. Its body is soft, boneless, and impossibly flexible, allowing it to vanish into the smallest crevice or flatten itself against the rocks. Chromatophores in its skin fire in rapid succession, shifting color and texture to match the environment with uncanny precision. In an instant, it becomes invisible, a ghost among the stones. The octopus's senses are equally formidable. Its keen eyesight pierces the gloom, and its sensitive suckers taste and feel every surface, reading the water for the faintest sign of movement. The shark patrols the rocky floor, its electroreceptors scanning for the telltale signals of life, but the octopus, perfectly still and camouflaged, remains undetected. Its heartbeat slowed, its body pressed flat against the stone. From its hidden vantage, the octopus observes every move. Its eyes, capable of detecting polarized light, track the shark's approach with calculating intelligence. It waits, coiled and ready, every muscle primed for a sudden burst of speed. The octopus is an ambush predator, relying on patience and perfect timing. As the shark glides past, oblivious to the peril, the octopus explodes from its hiding place. Its arms shoot forward with astonishing force, propelled by powerful muscles and a jet of water expelled from its siphon. The water churns with a sudden, violent motion. There is no pursuit, only a calculated strike, swift and overwhelming. 8 muscular arms, each lined with hundreds of sensitive, adhesive suckers, unfurl and envelop the shark. The octopus's grip is absolute, its arms moving independently to counter every thrash and twist. The shark lashes out, jaws snapping, dorsal spines raised in defense. But the octopus's arms constrict with relentless pressure, neutralizing every weapon the shark possesses. Mass and leverage are on the octopus's side. Weighing up to 8 times more than its adversary, it uses its bulk to pin the shark against the rocky substrate, denying it the space to maneuver. Each sucker acts as both a sensor and a weapon, detecting chemical cues and gripping with astonishing strength. The shark's rough skin is no match for the octopus's relentless hold. Immobilized, the shark's gills struggle to draw water. Deprived of oxygen, its movements grow frantic, then feeble. The octopus is not merely restraining its prey, it is orchestrating the encounter, shifting the shark's body to expose its most vulnerable points. The shark's formidable jaws and venomous spines are rendered useless, trapped beneath a living net of muscle and suction. What began as a contest between predator and prey has become a showcase of the octopus's evolutionary brilliance, its flexible body, adaptive camouflage, and unparalleled intelligence turning the tide. In a stunning reversal, the hunter is now the hunted. The shark's fate is sealed by tactics it cannot comprehend. The octopus draws the shark close, arms tightening in a final, inescapable embrace. It prepares for the decisive act, the kiss of death. At the heart of the octopus's swirling limbs lies its beak, sharp and powerful, hidden until the critical moment. With surgical precision, the octopus bites into the shark, injecting a potent neurotoxin. The venom paralyzes, ensuring the shark cannot resist. This toxin not only immobilizes, but begins to break down the shark's tissues, allowing the octopus to feed with minimal effort. A gruesome, yet efficient adaptation. In the aftermath, the octopus rests victorious. It has triumphed not through brute strength, but through a symphony of senses, strategy, and evolutionary ingenuity, proving that in the ocean's depths, intelligence and adaptability can outmatch even the most fearsome of predators. High in the Himalayas, at altitudes approaching 20,000 feet, a ghostly figure prowls the frozen ridges, an apex predator perfectly attuned to one of the harshest environments on Earth. The snow leopard reigns over this unforgiving rocky domain, where oxygen is scarce and every step is a test of endurance. Its thick, smoky grey coat is more than warmth. It's a masterwork of camouflage, blending seamlessly with the jagged boulders and snow-dusted cliffs, allowing the cat to vanish in plain sight. Here, the snow leopard hunts ibex and barrel, blue sheep whose own survival depends on their astonishing agility and sure-footedness on vertical cliffs. A hunt in this vertical world is a perilous gamble. The leopard succeeds only 1 in 5 times, each failed attempt draining precious energy reserves. Driven by hunger, a lone leopard sets its sights on a barrel weighing nearly 100 pounds, knowing that a single misstep could mean starvation or a fatal fall. The air is razor-thin, and every movement is a battle against gravity and exhaustion. In this rarefied atmosphere, the stakes of each hunt are nothing short of life and death. But the barrel is no passive prey. Its instincts are honed by generations of survival in this treacherous landscape. When threatened, the barrel's defense is as daring as it is dangerous, a calculated leap into the abyss, trusting its hooves and balance to carry it to safety. On flat ground, the barrel is vulnerable to the leopard's explosive pounce, but on the cliffs, the odds shift. The barrel lures its pursuer closer to the edge, where a single leap could mean escape or disaster. It tests the predator's nerve, gambling that the cat will hesitate at the brink of a sheer drop. But desperation sharpens the snow leopard's resolve. It cannot afford another failure. With hunger gnawing at its belly, the leopard's instincts override its fear of the void. In a split second, it launches itself with astonishing force, closing the gap and locking its claws into the barrel's thick hide. The momentum of predator and prey becomes unstoppable, propelling both over the edge in a breathtaking plunge. They tumble through the thin air, locked in a desperate struggle, as the world blurs around them. Hurtling downward at 40 miles per hour, they become a single spinning mass of fur, muscle, and horns. For most creatures, such a fall would be fatal, but the snow leopard is a master of survival in the vertical realm. Its flexible spine and long, thick tail act as a dynamic stabilizer, allowing the cat to twist and reorient itself mid-fall. This aerial righting reflex is a marvel of evolution, shared by other agile predators like the caracal, which can leap and twist to snatch birds from the air, and the flying squirrel, which glides between trees to evade danger. In the split seconds of descent, the snow leopard's instincts and anatomy work in perfect harmony, orienting its body for the safest possible landing. Against all odds, the cat lands on its powerful shock-absorbing legs, surviving an impact that would shatter most bones. Its muscular limbs flex and absorb the force, a feat echoed by mountain goats in North America, which leap across chasms with similar precision, and by klipspringers in Africa, whose hooves grip bare rock as they bound away from leopards. The barrel, less fortunate, lies motionless at the base of the cliff, a testament to the razor-thin margin between life and death in the wild. Battered but alive, the snow leopard claims its prize, a meal that will sustain it through the next week of icy winds and hunger. In the animal kingdom, survival often hinges on a single leap, a moment where instinct, anatomy, and environment collide in a breathtaking display of adaptation. From the snow leopard's death-defying plunge to the impala's acrobatic escape from cheetahs on the African savanna, these leaps of faith are the ultimate test of survival, where only the most finely tuned instincts and adaptations can tip the balance between predator and prey. Deep within the labyrinthine waterways of the Amazon basin, where the dense canopy filters sunlight into shifting patterns on the muddy water, a drama of survival unfolds. Here, a family of giant river otters, sleek, muscular, and ever alert, navigates the currents, their senses attuned to every ripple and shadow. Lurking at the edge of their territory is a black caiman, a colossal predator measuring 16 feet from snout to tail and weighing nearly 800 pounds. Its ancient eyes break the surface, scanning for movement, its armored body blending seamlessly with the tangled roots and silt. The otters gather in a tight formation, their bodies pressed together, whiskers twitching as they assess the threat. This is more than a territorial standoff. There is a deep, simmering tension, a need for retribution. Only days before, the Caiman had ambushed and killed 2 of the otter's 5 pups. The loss is fresh, the family's grief palpable in their restless movements and anxious glances. Giant river otters, known locally as river wolves, are among the Amazon's most social mammals. Their lives revolve around the group, each member playing a role, from vigilant sentinels to nurturing caregivers. Communication is constant. A chorus of whistles, chirps, and barks echo across the water, each sound carrying meaning, warnings, encouragement, or calls to regroup. Their coordination is extraordinary, honed by years of living and hunting together. The dominant male, larger and more scarred than the rest, signals with a sharp, urgent bark. Instantly the family fans out, forming a crescent around the Caiman. Each otter knows its position. Some distract, others prepare to strike. The otters dart through the water with astonishing speed, weaving between submerged branches and floating debris. Their streamlined bodies slice through the current, exploiting every eddy and shadow for cover. Suddenly the father surges forward, jaws snapping onto the Caiman's thick tail. The attack is precise, a calculated risk meant to provoke rather than injure. The Caiman thrashes, its massive head swinging toward the attacker. But this is exactly what the otters want. As the reptile's attention shifts, the rest of the group closes in from all sides. The otters employ a unique group tactic, hit-and-run assaults from multiple angles. They bite, nip, and retreat, never lingering long enough for the Caiman to retaliate. Their movements are synchronized, each otter responding instantly to the other's vocal cues and body language. High-pitched screams and rapid-fire barks fill the air, a cacophony that confuses and agitates the Caiman. These vocalizations are not random. They are a sophisticated language, relaying strategy and status in real time. The struggle intensifies, water churning as fur and scales collide. For over an hour, the otters maintain relentless pressure, never allowing the Caiman a moment's rest. The Caiman's jaws are powerful enough to crush bone, and its armored hide shrugs off most attacks. But the otters know its weakness, stamina. As a cold-blooded giant, the Caiman's muscles tire quickly under sustained exertion. Lactic acid builds and its movements grow sluggish. The otters sense the shift. Their attacks become more daring, probing for vulnerabilities as the Caiman's defenses falter. They employ a rotating assault. While some otters attack, others rest and recover, ensuring that fresh energy is always in the fray. The relentless rhythm of their attacks chips away at the Caiman's resolve. Each otter times its approach to coincide with the Caiman's weakest moments, maximizing the impact of every bite. They target the Caiman's underbelly, where the armor is thinnest. Long, sharp canines puncture soft flesh, inflicting wounds that sap the reptile's strength. Gradually the tide turns. The Caiman, battered and bleeding, can no longer mount an effective defense. It lies motionless, sides heaving, as the otters close in, their eyes fixed and determined. With a final coordinated surge, the otters overwhelm the Caiman, their teamwork and persistence overcoming brute strength. The predator that once terrorized their family is defeated, a testament to the power of unity and strategy in the wild. Yet, victory is bittersweet. The otters regroup, their bodies marked by exhaustion and loss. In the chaos, 2 more pups have vanished, swept away by the current or lost in the confusion of battle. The family's calls echo across the water, unanswered. As the sun sets over the tangled waterways, the surviving otters slip silently into the shadows, their numbers diminished. In the Amazon, every victory carries a cost, and the struggle for survival never truly ends. In the relentless heat of the South African dry season, the landscape is a tapestry of dust and brittle grass. Water is the rarest of treasures, and every living creature is drawn to the shrinking waterholes that dot the savanna. These oases are lifelines, but they are also arenas of constant tension, where predator and prey are forced into uneasy proximity. Beneath the still surface of the water, danger lurks. Nile crocodiles, masters of patience and camouflage, lie in wait, only their eyes and nostrils betraying their presence. The air is thick with anticipation. As animals approach, each step measured, every movement calculated. Among the visitors is a troop of Chagma baboons. Their social structure is complex, built on intricate hierarchies and alliances. The troop moves as a unit, elders and dominant males taking up positions on the periphery, scanning for threats, while mothers and juveniles cluster toward the center. The baboons are acutely aware of the risks. Their sharp eyes dart between the water and the surrounding bush, searching for any sign of movement. They communicate with soft grunts and barks, warning each other of potential danger. The tension is palpable. Every member of the troop is on edge. Driven by thirst, a nursing mother edges forward, her infant clinging tightly to her underside. She is vulnerable, but the need for water outweighs her fear. The troop's sentinels remain vigilant, ready to sound the alarm at the slightest hint of trouble. Suddenly, the illusion of safety shatters. With explosive speed, a teenage female crocodile erupts from the water, her powerful tail propelling her forward in a blur of muscle and scales. The attack is swift and silent, an ambush perfected by millions of years of evolution. The crocodile's jaws, engineered for crushing bone, snap shut around the mother and her infant. The force is immense, a testament to the predator's dominance at the water's edge. The mother's scream pierces the air, a raw, desperate call that echoes across the savanna. Her distress triggers an immediate response from the troop, their social bonds igniting into action. Fueled by adrenaline, the mother summons a surge of strength, wrenching herself free from the crocodile's grip. Her arm hangs limp, shattered by the crushing bite, but her will to survive is unbroken. In the chaos, her infant slips from her grasp, tumbling to the muddy ground. The troop's alarm calls rise in pitch, a chorus of panic and urgency. The crocodile, momentarily thwarted, shifts its focus to the defenseless infant. For a brief, heart-stopping moment, the baby is utterly alone, the shadow of the predator looming overhead. The outcome seems inevitable. The infant's tiny form is dwarfed by the crocodile's bulk, and escape appears impossible. But the baboon troop does not abandon their own. Their survival depends not just on individual strength, but on unity and cooperation. The dominant males and close kin surge forward, their bodies bristling with aggression. Instinct and loyalty override fear. The troop assembles in a tight formation, each member playing a role, some barking and feinting to distract, others preparing to attack. the baby's uncle and its formidable father, a 70-pound alpha male, lead the charge. Their barks are deafening, a display of both warning and defiance. This is not a random act of chaos, but a coordinated assault. The troops' cohesion is their greatest weapon, honed by years of living and surviving together in a harsh environment. The alpha male, driven by paternal instinct and social responsibility, throws himself at the crocodile without hesitation. He launches himself onto the reptile's back, a blur of fur and muscle, his teeth and claws seeking any vulnerable spot. The alpha pummels the crocodile with relentless blows, biting and clawing at the armored hide. His attack is both desperate and calculated, targeting the eyes and softer underbelly. The rest of the troop joins in, transforming the scene into a frenzied melee. The crocodile, so often the apex predator, is now beset on all sides by a determined, united force. Overwhelmed by the sheer number and ferocity of the baboons, the crocodile recoils, its confidence shaken by the troops' unexpected resistance. The baboons' actions are a powerful demonstration of their social bonds. Their willingness to risk everything for a single member is a survival strategy that has allowed them to thrive in such a perilous environment. Relentless in their assault, the baboons force the crocodile to release the infant and retreat into the murky depths, its ambush foiled by the troops' unity. The troop quickly regroups, forming a protective circle around the injured infant. Their relief is tempered by the gravity of the ordeal. The victory is bittersweet. The infant, though rescued from the predator, has suffered grave injuries. The troop's mood shifts from triumph to mourning. The father gently lifts his offspring, cradling it with care as he returns to the safety of the group. The troop gathers close, offering comfort and protection in the aftermath. Despite their efforts, the infant succumbs to its injuries, the crushing force of the crocodile's bite, too much for its fragile body to withstand. The troop mourns, their grief a silent testament to the depth of their social connections. In the fading light, the baboons huddle together, their unity unbroken even in loss. Their actions reveal the harsh realities of survival in the wild, where danger is ever present, but so too is the strength found in family and cooperation. Deep within the tangled thickets of South Africa, a female leopard moves with calculated precision, her golden coat dappled by shifting sunlight. Every step is silent, every muscle taut with purpose. She is not just a hunter, she is a guardian, newly entrusted with the life of her fragile cub. As a new mother, her world has shrunk to the boundaries of her territory. Here, every bush, every tree, and every hidden path is mapped in her mind. Her cub, still unsteady on its feet, depends entirely on her vigilance and skill, but the delicate balance of her world is shattered. The scent of another leopard, sharp, musky, and unmistakable, lingers in the air. The intruder is not a stranger, but her older half-sister, drawn by the promise of territory and resources. In the solitary existence of leopards, kinship is fleeting. Blood ties dissolve when survival is at stake. The two females circle each other, bodies low, tails twitching in agitation. Their eyes lock, each reading the other's intent in a silent, primal language. The mother positions herself between her cub and the threat, her body a living shield. She is a formidable predator, weighing 130 pounds, her muscles rippling beneath her coat, but her greatest weapon is her unwavering resolve. Driven by the fierce instinct to protect, she issues a warning, a guttural growl, low and resonant. The air vibrates with tension. The intruder responds in kind, her own growl a challenge. There is no room for negotiation. The confrontation erupts in a blur of motion. The leopards collide, claws unsheathed, teeth bared. They grapple and tumble, their rosetted coats merging in a violent dance. Each uses her body weight to pin and twist, seeking any advantage. Snarls and guttural roars echo through the bush, a raw soundtrack of territorial warfare. The mother's canines, nearly an inch long, flash as she snaps at her rival's throat. Her paws, armed with retractable claws, rake through fur and flesh. The battle is not just about brute strength. It is a contest of agility, strategy, and endurance. The mother, fueled by desperation, launches a series of rapid strikes, her movements honed by years of solitary hunting. Her recent motherhood has sharpened her instincts. She fights not only for herself, but for the future of her cub. Every blow is calculated, every maneuver designed to intimidate and injure. As the struggle intensifies, the mother lands a decisive blow, forcing her rival to the ground. She stands over her, tail lashing, and releases a series of deep, territorial growls. With deliberate movements, she marks the ground with scent glands on her cheeks and tail, reinforcing her claim. The message is unmistakable. This land is hers. Any future challenge will be met with the same ferocity. The defeated intruder, battered and bloodied, lowers her head and slinks away, her body language a clear sign of submission. The half-sister vanishes into the undergrowth, her presence erased as quickly as it appeared. The mother watches until the last rustle fades, then turns her attention back to her cub. Victorious, she reclaims her territory. She patrols the boundaries, scent-marking trees and rocks with urine and secretions from her facial glands, a chemical warning to all would-be intruders. Her cub, oblivious to the danger, plays in the safety of the den. The mother grooms her offspring, reinforcing their bond and removing any trace of blood or scent that might attract other predators. This brutal encounter is a testament to the realities of leopard life. Conflict is resolved not through compromise, but through dominance and clear communication, scent, sound, and the scars of battle. For the mother leopard, the survival of her cub is paramount, and she will defend it against any threat, no matter how close the bloodline. In the wild, family is not defined by shared ancestry, but by the relentless drive to protect and provide for the next generation. Beneath the pale glow of the moon, the Sonoran Desert transforms into a world of shadows and silent movement. Every grain of sand, every whisper of wind becomes part of a living tapestry where survival is a nightly battle. The grasshopper mouse, a creature no larger than a human thumb, emerges from its burrow. Unlike its timid cousins, this mouse is a born predator, its senses sharpened by generations of nocturnal hunting. It pauses, nose twitching, ears rotating, to catch the faintest tremor in the air. Then, in a display of wild defiance, it throws back its head and howls, a piercing cry that echoes across the dunes, announcing its presence to the night. Tonight, the mouse's quarry is a true monster of the underworld, a 7-inch-long giant desert centipede, armored and ancient, its body rippling with predatory intent. The centipede is a living tank, its exoskeleton gleaming in the moonlight, each segment bristling with defensive spines. 42 legs move in perfect coordination, carrying it swiftly over the sand. Its venomous fangs, curved and glistening, are capable of delivering a toxin more potent than most scorpions, enough to paralyze or kill in seconds. For most creatures, a single bite would mean certain death, but the grasshopper mouse is not most creatures. The two adversaries face each other, a study in contrasts, delicate mammal against armored arthropod, speed against brute force. The mouse advances, every muscle coiled, whiskers quivering as it reads the subtlest vibrations in the sand. Hunger sharpens its focus. It calculates every move, aware that a single misstep could be fatal. The mouse employs a ruthless tactic. It launches a series of rapid, targeted bites, each one aimed at the centipede's vulnerable joints and nerve clusters. The centipede lashes out, but the mouse's reflexes are honed by countless encounters. It leaps aside, its body a blur, using the desert's uneven terrain to its advantage. Each attack is a calculated risk. The mouse darts in, delivers a searing bite, and springs away before the centipede's venomous claws can close. It spins and pivots, executing dizzying 180-degree jumps, an acrobatic ballet of survival. The centipede thrashes, its armored body twisting, but the mouse is always a heartbeat ahead, reading the monster's every move through the vibrations in the sand. The battle is a spectacle of nature's engineering, speed and agility pitted against armor and venom. The centipede's exoskeleton is a fortress, but the mouse is relentless, probing for weaknesses with every bite. Each attack chips away at the centipede's defenses, damaging its armor and disrupting its nervous system. The struggle becomes a war of attrition, a test of endurance and willpower beneath the desert stars. The mouse circles, never lingering in one place, always mindful of the centipede's deadly front end and grasping legs. What sets this mouse apart is its remarkable adaptation. It is immune to the centipede's paralyzing venom, thanks to a unique protein that blocks pain signals at the molecular level. Even when bitten, the mouse shrugs off the attack, its nerves shielded from the toxin's effects, a biological shield forged by evolution. After a relentless barrage of attacks, the centipede's movements slow. Its armored body, once a fortress, now lies battered and still. Sensing weakness, the mouse closes in, its instincts guiding it to the vulnerable head. With a final, decisive bite, it crushes the centipede's defenses, ending the battle in a single, brutal moment. Victorious, the grasshopper mouse feasts on its formidable prey, savoring the reward of its cunning and courage beneath the endless desert sky. In this epic confrontation, the desert reveals its harsh truths. Survival belongs not to the largest, but to those who adapt, who sense, and who dare. Here, even the smallest hunter can bring down a monster. The animal confrontations we have explored, stretching from the sun-baked plains of Africa to the icy, wind-swept peaks of the Himalayas, offer more than just a spectacle of raw power. They are windows into the intricate, often invisible forces that shape the natural world. Each battle is a living lesson in adaptation, resilience, and the relentless drive to survive. Consider the lionesses of the savannah, whose coordinated hunts are masterpieces of strategy. Each member of the pride plays a distinct role, flankers, chasers, and ambushers, demonstrating a level of social intelligence and communication that rivals the most advanced predators on Earth. In the baboon troop, we witness the power of unity and sacrifice. When danger threatens, the group forms a living shield around its most vulnerable members, a testament to the evolutionary advantage of social bonds and collective defense. Beneath the waves, the octopus reveals a different kind of genius. Its ability to change color and texture in an instant is not just camouflage. It is a sophisticated form of communication and deception, honed by millions of years of predation and escape. The snow leopard, with its elongated tail and flexible spine, is a marvel of mountain engineering. These adaptations allow it to leap across chasms and cling to sheer cliffs, thriving in an environment where only the most specialized can survive. The grasshopper mouse, immune to the venom of its prey, is a reminder that evolution often rewards the boldest innovations. Its resistance is not just a quirk, but a finely tuned adaptation that allows it to exploit a niche few others dare to enter. The octopus's skin, capable of instant transformation, is a living canvas of survival. Each chromatophore and papilla is a tool in the ongoing battle to outwit both predator and prey. The cheetah's explosive speed and the crocodile's patient ambush are two sides of the same evolutionary coin. For every offensive adaptation, nature crafts an equally ingenious defense, creating a dynamic balance that sustains entire ecosystems. The pangolin's armored scales and the turtle's shell are not mere shields. They are the culmination of countless generations of selective pressure, each layer a record of survival against overwhelming odds. Wildebeest herds and wild dog packs illustrate the ecological importance of cooperation. Their synchronized movements and shared vigilance are essential for both hunting and evading predators, shaping the very rhythm of life on the plains. The fury of a mother buffalo defending her calf is more than instinct. It is a calculated risk, a moment where the stakes are nothing less than the future of her lineage. River otters, working as a family unit, display a remarkable blend of playfulness and ferocity. Their coordinated defense against threats is a vivid example of how social structure can tip the balance between life and death. The territorial rage of a leopard is a force that shapes entire forests. By defending its domain, the leopard not only ensures its own survival, but also influences the distribution and behavior of countless other species. When an elephant pauses to assess its surroundings, or a wary animal approaches a waterhole, we see the constant calculation of risk and reward. Every decision is a matter of survival, shaped by memory, experience, and acute environmental awareness. Wolves guarding their dens and birds defending their nests are powerful reminders that the drive to protect one's home and offspring is universal. These acts of defense ripple through the ecosystem, affecting predator-prey dynamics and population stability. The scars borne by survivors are badges of experience, each one a story of a narrow escape or a hard-fought victory. These marks are not just physical. They are woven into the very fabric of the species, shaping future generations. From the immense blue whale, whose migrations shape entire oceanic food webs, to the tiniest shrimp, whose cleaning symbiosis maintains the health of coral reefs, every creature is a vital thread in the ecological tapestry. These moments of conflict and escape are not isolated. They are the pulse of the wild, driving adaptation and innovation. Each struggle, each narrow escape is a lesson in the fragility and tenacity of life. In the end, the law of the wild is both simple and profound. Fight for your place, adapt to your challenges, and contribute to the ongoing story of life. These epic animal battles are not just contests of strength. They are the crucible in which nature's greatest lessons are forged, shaping the destiny of every living thing. In the heart of a snowbound forest, beneath a sky heavy with the promise of more snow, a pack of wolves assembles at the edge of a frozen meadow. The air is sharp with cold, each breath crystallizing in the dawn light. Hunger gnaws at their bellies, sharpening their focus. Before them, a herd of elk moves cautiously, hooves crunching through the crusted snow as they forage for the last remnants of brittle grass. This is not a scene of chaos, but of calculation, a living chessboard where every move matters. The wolves, led by an experienced alpha female, spread out in a silent arc. Each wolf knows its role, honed by seasons of hardship and memory. The youngest linger at the rear, their eyes bright with anticipation, while the seasoned hunters flank left and right, using the wind to mask their scent. The elk are not oblivious. Their world is built on vigilance. Ears swivel, nostrils flare, and the matriarch stands sentinel, her body tense, ready to signal flight at the first sign of danger. The wolves do not rush. They study the herd, searching for weakness, a limping calf, an old bull slowed by the deepening winter. The snow itself is both ally and adversary. It muffles sound, allowing the wolves to close in unseen, but it also saps their energy, each stride a labor against the drifts. The cold bites at exposed paws and noses, demanding efficiency. The wolves communicate with barely perceptible signs, a flick of a tail, a low whine, a shared glance, coordinating their approach without a sound. Suddenly, the alpha makes her move. She lunges forward, driving the elk into motion. The herd erupts into a thunder of hooves, snow spraying in all directions, but the wolves are relentless, splitting into two groups. One chases, herding the elk toward a stand of ice-glazed trees where escape is more difficult. The other pack members circle wide, anticipating the herd's desperate turns. Panic fractures the elk's formation. The wolves focus on a young bull, separated in the confusion. As the chase narrows, the pack's unity becomes their greatest weapon, each wolf taking turns at the front, conserving energy for the final sprint. The youngest learn as they run, their future written in every coordinated maneuver. The final moments are swift and brutal. The wolves bring down their quarry with practiced efficiency. ending the pursuit in silence, broken only by the wind. As they feed, their breaths rising in clouds, there is no waste. Every part of the elk will sustain the pack through the unforgiving winter. This is not just a hunt, but a lesson in adaptation and collective strategy. The frozen landscape shapes every decision, demanding cooperation, patience, and an unyielding will to survive. In the deep silence that follows, the wolves rest, their bond strengthened by shared effort and hard-won success, a testament to the ancient dance between predator and prey, played out on nature's frozen chessboard. Beneath a patchwork of tangled roots and sun-baked soil, an ant colony thrives in hidden complexity. Their world is a labyrinth of narrow tunnels and vaulted chambers, each passage etched by thousands of tireless workers. The scent of pheromones weaves through the darkness, an invisible language that binds the colony together and guides every movement. But above ground, the earth trembles with a new threat. The air vibrates with the low snuffling of an Anteater, a solitary hunter drawn by the faint chemical signature of the nest. Its powerful claws tear at the crusted soil, sending vibrations deep into the tunnels below. Instantly, the colony's alarm system is triggered. Soldier ants rush to the breach, their antennae quivering, releasing alarm pheromones that ripple through the underground network like a silent siren. The Anteater's tongue flicks in and out, probing for the first wave of defenders, but the ants are prepared. In a coordinated response, the soldiers swarm the intruder's snout, deploying their most potent weapon, formic acid. Tiny droplets are sprayed in unison, stinging sensitive skin and eyes. The Anteater recoils, blinking and shaking its head, but hunger drives it to persist. Inside the nest, worker ants scramble to seal off vulnerable chambers, using wet earth and debris to barricade the queen and the precious brood. Others ferry larvae deeper underground, guided by the constant stream of urgent chemical messages. Scouts dash through auxiliary tunnels, assessing breaches and relaying updates to the colony's core. Above ground, the Anteater renews its assault, digging faster, but now the defenders employ another tactic, autothysis. A handful of suicide soldiers rupture their bodies, releasing a sticky, toxic secretion that glues the Anteater's tongue and gums, making each mouthful a struggle. The air fills with the sharp tang of acid and alarm, a chemical fog that warns the colony and deters the invader. The Anteater, frustrated and stinging, pauses. Its sensitive nose twitches, overwhelmed by the barrage of chemical defenses. The soil shifts beneath its claws as the ants launch a final counterattack, swarming in coordinated waves, biting and spraying until the giant predator, battered and bewildered, withdraws. In the aftermath, the colony mobilizes to repair the damage. Workers reinforce the outer walls, while scouts patrol for lingering threats. Deep below, the queen remains untouched, the heartbeat of the colony preserved by the collective will and ingenuity of her subjects. Here, beneath the indifferent sky, the battle is not won by size or strength, but by unity, communication, and the relentless drive to defend home. The ants' underground fortress stands firm, a testament to the power of cooperation and the subtle, silent war waged every day beneath our feet. In the cold blue depths of a rocky coastline, the world is a realm of flickering shadows and muffled sound. Here, the great white shark reigns as an apex predator, its power concealed beneath a veneer of calm. Every movement is measured, every sense tuned to the faintest tremor in the water. A young fur seal weaves through a kelp forest, its body slicing the water with agile precision. Above, sunlight fractures into shifting beams, dappling the ocean floor and casting a mosaic of light and darkness. The seal's large eyes scan for danger, nostrils flaring as it glides between the swaying fronds. It is alert, but the predator is patient. Below, the great white shark waits in silence, its pale underbelly blending with the glare from the surface. An expert in the art of camouflage, electroreceptors dot its snout, detecting the faint bioelectric pulses of the seal's muscles even through the water's murk. The shark's lateral line senses minute pressure changes, mapping the seal's every movement with ghostly precision. As the seal ventures beyond the kelp's shelter, a single twitch from its flipper sends ripples across the water column. Instantly, the shark's senses converge. This is the moment. With a sudden explosive surge, it rockets upwards, jaws agape. The ambush is calculated. It strikes from below, the angle maximizing the element of surprise and the force of impact. The seal's reflexes are sharp, but the attack is faster, a blur of muscle, teeth, and momentum. The shark's jaws clamp down with bone-crushing power, serrated teeth slicing through flesh in a single, decisive bite. Bubbles and crimson plumes spiral in the water as the seal thrashes, the struggle brief but desperate. The encounter is over in seconds. The shark, victorious, retreats into the blue, leaving the kelp to sway in the aftermath. The sea returns to stillness, yet the memory of the hunt lingers, a silent testament to the predator's mastery of its domain. Here, in the ever-shifting theatre of the ocean, survival is measured in moments, and every sense is a weapon. In the dappled sunlight of a dense tropical canopy, every leaf is a potential stage for drama, a place where the line between life and death blurs with every flutter of a wing. Here, a chameleon clings to a slender branch, its toes splayed in a perfect grip, tail coiled for balance. The world around it is a mosaic of emerald and gold, shafts of light piercing the foliage and casting complex shadows across the forest floor. Above, a shadow glides, silent, calculating. A bird of prey, eyes sharp as polished glass, scouts the labyrinth below. Its vision slices through camouflage and clutter, searching for the faintest sign of movement. The chameleon senses danger, its independently rotating eyes scanning the canopy in two directions at once. Each eye moves with eerie precision, feeding the chameleon a 360-degree view of its world. No blind spots, no surprises. As the bird circles, the chameleon's skin begins its silent transformation. Specialized pigment cells, chromatophores and iridophores, expand and contract, shifting the animal's color and pattern in real time. Greens deepen, browns ripple across its flanks, and subtle flecks of yellow mimic the sunlight filtering through the leaves. The chameleon is no longer a distinct creature, but a living fragment of its environment. The bird swoops, wings slicing the air with lethal intent. A gust of wind rattles the leaves, and the chameleon freezes, motionless, breath shallow. Its body flattens against the branch, limbs tucked tight, minimizing any shadow. Even its eyes slow, tracking the predator with barely perceptible movements. For a moment the bird hovers, head cocked, scanning for the outline of prey. But the chameleon's disguise holds. The bird's attention flickers, drawn away by a sudden rustle elsewhere, and it dives in pursuit of another target. Only then does the chameleon move, each step a careful calculation. Its prehensile tail unwinds, anchoring it as it glides slowly to a safer perch. Camouflage, patience, and anatomical mastery, these are its shields in a world where the unseen survive. In this forest theatre, the art of disappearance is as crucial as any weapon. The chameleon remains unseen, a silent victor in nature's relentless game of hide and seek. Dawn breaks over the arid savanna, painting the landscape in hues of amber and ochre. In this unforgiving expanse, survival belongs to the bold, and few are bolder than the honey badger. With a gait that is both deliberate and defiant, the honey badger emerges from a thicket of thorny acacias. Its body is low-slung and muscular, fur thick and coarse, a natural armor against the perils to come. Ahead, nestled in the gnarled embrace of a marula tree, a wild beehive hangs, dripping with golden promise and guarded by an army of vigilant worker bees. The air vibrates with their warning hum, a living barricade of stingers and determination. But the honey badger is undeterred. Guided by an acute sense of smell, it sniffs the breeze, locating the hive with pinpoint accuracy. Claws unsheathe, curved and formidable as it begins its ascent, each movement measured to avoid the tree's hooked thorns. The bees sense the intruder. In a furious swarm, they launch a counterattack, pelting the honey badger's face and exposed snout with venomous stings. The badger squints, baring its teeth in a silent snarl, but it does not retreat. Its skin, loose and tough, allows it to twist and turn, shaking off attackers with a violent shake. It paws at its face, rubbing away the persistent defenders, even as its eyes water from the relentless assault. Suddenly a new threat slinks into view, a pair of opportunistic jackals drawn by the ruckus and the sweet scent of honey. The badger freezes, assessing the intruders with a glare. With a guttural growl, it doubles down, digging deeper into the hive, sending shards of wax and clouds of bees into the air. The jackals circle warily, unwilling to risk a direct confrontation with the infamous mustelid. One darts forward, snapping at the honey badger's haunch, but receives a swift, savage bite for its trouble. Undeterred by pain or predators, the badger finally reaches the honeycomb. It devours the rich bounty, honey, larvae, and bees alike, using its powerful jaws to crush and consume. Each mouthful is won through a gauntlet of stings and threats, but the honey badger's resilience is legendary. Even as venom courses through its veins, it persists, immune to what would deter lesser creatures. As the sun climbs higher, the honey badger descends, belly full and muzzle sticky with honey. The bees regroup, tending their wounded and rebuilding their shattered home. The jackals, denied an easy meal, melt back into the grass. For the honey badger, pain is a small price for victory. In this harsh world, tenacity is the ultimate weapon, and the honey badger walks away, scarred, stung, but triumphant. Here, in the wild's relentless theater, the honey badger's raid is not just a battle for food, but a testament to the power of persistence against overwhelming odds.